You know, we live in a world where there's a camera pretty much everywhere. Phones, security systems, dash cams, they're always rolling. But sometimes they capture things that just shouldn't be possible. And today, we're going to dig into some of that footage.
I mean, really think about that for a second. What if you were just filming something totally normal, and when you played it back, you saw something that completely defied logic? Well, that's the really unnerving idea behind all the clips we're about to look at.
So let's just dive right in. Now, our goal here isn't to convince you one way or the other that this stuff is real or that it's all fake. Instead, we're going to act like analysts. We're going to break down the evidence we see on screen and try to figure out what makes these clips so incredibly unsettling.
We're going to kick things off with our first category, haunted objects. These are those moments where everyday inanimate things seem to, well, get a mind of their own. And our first case starts in a place that couldn't be more ordinary.
Okay, so picture this. It's September 18th, 2023. You've got a group of friends, and they're just practicing a dance. Later that night, they start playing a game in the dark. You know, it's all fun and games until this heavy crystal cube just falls off a shelf. But trust me, that's only the beginning.
And this is where it gets really weird. See, the first time it falls, you could totally dismiss that, right? Maybe it was just sitting on the edge of the shelf, no big deal. But it's the second fall. That's the one that's tough to explain. Moments after they put it back, it doesn't just fall, it launches across the room. One of the people there, Casey, even said it felt like it was flung with real force. Now that suggests intent, not just gravity. And the reaction you hear in the video, it's just pure, unfiltered shock. When one of them says this, you can feel it. That genuine fear is exactly what makes this clip so chilling. They weren't expecting it, and they have absolutely no idea what just happened. All right, let's shift gears to our next case. This guy's name is Bobby, and that cabinet you see behind him, according to him, it has been the source of some really strange, ongoing activity in his house. He's actually documented it before, but this time, he caught something especially intense. So Bobby's just trying to watch a movie when he starts hearing these noises coming from the cabinet again. He pulls out his phone to film, and you can just hear the mix of fear and total exhaustion in his voice as he's pleading with whatever's making the sound. It's just a moment of pure frustration. And this right here shows the whole sequence, and it's what makes it so convincing. It's not just some random bang. First, the doors start rattling, like, violently. Then, and this is the key part, the camera clearly picks up the metallic click of the latch opening. And right after that, the door just slides open by itself. It's that 1-2 punch of both sound and visual proof that makes this one so hard to just brush off. Okay, so we've seen objects move on their own. That's creepy enough. But what happens when the camera catches something that looks like a person? Well, that brings us to our next section, phantoms in the footage. The scene for this next clip is just perfectly eerie. We've got a truck driver on this notoriously dangerous road, a road that has a dark history of fatal accidents. Some people even say it's cursed. He and his co-driver are just playing some music, trying to stay awake, when their dash cam records something they don't even notice in the moment. So watch closely here. You see a figure dart out from the side of the road, but instead of running all the way across, it just vanishes. It literally dissolves into thin air before it even gets to the other side. And like we said, the guys in the truck had no clue this happened until they went back and looked at the footage later. And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Where did it go? There's no ditch to fall into, no tree to hide behind, no logical place for it to have disappeared. It's there 1 second, and it's just gone the next. Okay, so from a dark, spooky road, we're heading into a bright, empty house. Or at least it was supposed to be empty. A real estate agent in South Africa is doing a routine video tour of a property for sale. They were absolutely certain they were alone until they watched the video back. Here's what's so jarring about this one. As the agent pans the camera through a hallway, for just a split second, you can see a dark figure. It's there, and then it's gone. The agent was completely adamant that no one else was in the house with them, which makes this quick little appearance incredibly bizarre. It feels like nothing good ever happens at 3:20 in the morning, right? Well, this next clip from a doorbell camera is definitely no exception. A grandmother was just reviewing her security footage when she stumbled across this. What's so strange here is that you're actually seeing two separate, weird things happen. First, you see this little bright white figure dash out of the closed front door. Then, just a few moments later, a much bigger, darker silhouette just kind of appears and hovers near the porch. It's the sequence of events and the big contrast between the two anomalies that makes this one so baffling. Now, for our final apparition clip, we've got a family pulling up to their house at night and they see the blinds in an upstairs window just moving on their own. But here's the weirdest part. Every time they shine a flashlight on the window, the movement stops. It's almost like it's reacting to them. So the mom goes inside, films the room, and proves, without a doubt, that nobody's in there. So after seeing all these strange clips, what are we supposed to think? Well, the source material doesn't give us a final answer. And honestly, neither will we. Instead, let's just lay out what we've seen. It's up to you to be the judge. When you look back at all these clips, a few common threads start to pop up. We see inanimate objects moving with impossible force. We see these fleeting figures that appear and vanish in the blink of an eye. And what's really crucial is that most of these moments are captured completely by accident. None of them have an easy, right-off-the-bat explanation. And of course, there are plenty of rational possibilities, right? Some of these could be incredibly well-made hoaxes. Others could be nothing more than tricks of the light, our brains just seeing patterns that aren't really there. Or they could be something else. And that's really the question we want to leave you with. In this age where a camera is always watching, are we just catching more digital glitches and clever fakes, or are we every so often catching a genuine glimpse into a world that operates by a completely different set of rules?